Captain John Miller stood at the window of his quarters aboard the Earth defense vessel Defiant *. A half-eaten slice of birthday cake sat on the table behind him. 40 years old today, and the universe had given him quite the present. Captain to the bridge, the voice of Lisa Carter, his executive officer, came through the comm system. They're here. John took one last look at the blue-green planet below. Earth looked so peaceful from orbit, even now. On my way, he replied, setting down his coffee mug and straightening his uniform. The calm in his voice betrayed none of the anxiety churning in his stomach. When John stepped onto the bridge 5 minutes later, the main screen showed what everyone had feared since the strange signals were first detected 3 days ago. 15 massive ships had entered Earth's orbit. Their sleek, metallic hulls reflected sunlight as they positioned themselves over major cities and military bases around the planet. "Status report," John said, taking his command chair. Lisa stood at attention next to him. 15 vessels, unknown configuration, but clearly military. They've taken up strategic positions but haven't powered weapons. They're broadcasting some kind of signal on all frequencies. "Let's hear it," John ordered. The screen flickered, revealing a humanoid figure with pale blue skin and eyes that seemed to have no pupils. Ornate armor covered its chest, and various medals and insignia suggested high rank. "People of Earth," the alien spoke in perfect English. "I am Admiral Vexor of the Zarkonian Empire. Your world now falls under our protection and authority. Resistance is unnecessary and would be regrettable. Your resources and labor will serve the greater glory of the Empire." The bridge crew exchanged glances. This wasn't a greeting. It was an announcement of ownership. "They've sent landing craft to the United Nations headquarters and several capital cities," reported Eric Brown, the tactical officer. "Small parties, likely diplomatic." "Diplomatic is a generous term," Lisa muttered. John watched the alien ships with narrowed eyes. "They've positioned themselves perfectly to target our defense systems. They know exactly where to hit us. But they don't seem very worried about our response," Lisa added. "Look at their shield configurations. Minimal power. They don't consider us a threat." The next 2 hours passed in a blur of emergency communications. World leaders gathered virtually while Zarkonian representatives delivered their terms in person. The Defiant maintained its orbit, observing but not engaging. John received a direct call from Admiral Hassan of the United Defense Council. "Captain Miller, we need your assessment." "Their technology is advanced, sir, but not incomprehensible," John replied. "Based on their energy signatures, we're dealing with directed energy weapons, particle shields, and faster-than-light capabilities. But they're careless. They don't view us as worthy opponents." "That matches our analysis," Hassan said grimly. "Their ambassador barely listened to our questions. They've classified Earth as a Category 3 world, primitive but resource-rich. We're to be a mining colony, our people transferred to where the Empire needs workers." "What are your orders, sir?" John asked, though he suspected he already knew the answer. "The Security Council is still deliberating, but it's not looking good. Stand by for now." Hassan out. As the screen went dark, John turned to find the entire bridge crew watching him. "They think we're cave people with fancy toys," Sam Rogers, the chief engineer, said with clear indignation in his voice. "Let them think that," John replied. "Karen, what have you learned about their ships?" Science officer Karen Wright pulled up several scanning reports. "Their shield harmonics cycle predictably. And there's something odd about their reactor containment. It's efficient but inflexible. They've sacrificed adaptability for power." John nodded slowly. "A strong but rigid system. Interesting. Are we really going to just surrender?" Diane Lewis, the communications officer, asked quietly. John looked at each of his crew members in turn. These were the best Earth had to offer, hand-picked for humanity's most advanced vessel. The Defiant might look like a research ship to casual observers, but its true capabilities remained classified even among most military personnel. Earth has survived this long because we're good at adapting, John said finally. The Zarkonians have no idea what humans do when backed into a corner, and I suspect they're about to learn. 2 days passed with the alien ships hanging in Earth's sky like metal stars. People across the planet could see them at night, bright points moving against the darkness. The Zarkonian Empire waited for Earth's surrender, certain it would come. John Miller sat in the United Defense Council's underground chamber with Lisa Carter beside him. 12 military leaders from Earth's major powers argued around the table. Some wanted to fight. Others said fighting meant death for billions. We have 3 hours left to answer their ultimatum, Admiral Hassan said, his voice tired. The question is not if we resist, but how. General Kelly pounded the table. We should hit them now with everything we have. And lose everything. Ambassador Wu countered. Their weapons could turn our cities to glass. John had stayed quiet until now. What if we gave them what they expect? All eyes turned to him. They think we're primitive and scared, John continued. So let's be exactly what they expect. Let's make them believe they've won, while we prepare something they don't expect. Admiral Hassan leaned forward. Go on, Captain. The Defiant appears to be a research vessel, but we all know what it really is. Let me take my ship and run. The Empire will see it as a futile escape attempt by frightened primitives. They'll send a small force after us, drawing ships away from Earth while you continue negotiations to buy time. A single ship against an empire, General Kelly scoffed. That's suicide. Not if they keep underestimating us, John replied. The Defiant has technologies they haven't seen. We don't need to win a war. We just need to bloody their nose enough to make them reconsider the cost of taking Earth. The room fell silent as the council considered his words. After 4 hours of debate, they reached their decision. Earth would appear to negotiate while secretly preparing defenses, and the Defiant would slip away, becoming humanity's first act of defiance against the Empire. Back aboard his ship, John gathered his crew. I won't lie to you. This mission is dangerous, possibly one way. Anyone who wants to stay behind can do so without shame. Not one person moved. Then let's get ready, John said. Sam, how's our drive system? Chief Engineer Sam Rogers grinned. The modified pulse drive is ready, Captain. It'll give those blue-skinned bullies something to think about. Karen, what about their scanning capabilities? Science Officer Karen Wright pointed to a display showing the Imperial Fleet's energy patterns. Their sensors rely on gravitational distortion. If we mask our signature within Earth's magnetic field during the atmospheric testing we scheduled, they'll barely notice us slipping away. Eric, weapons status. Tactical Officer Eric Brown stood straighter. All systems optimized, sir. The new targeting algorithms are loaded. We can hit precisely where they're weakest. Diane, communications. I've analyzed their transmission protocols, Diane Lewis reported. I can intercept and decode their communications now. They're actually placing bets on how quickly they'll catch us. Paul, do you have our exit route? Navigator Paul Clark nodded. Yes, sir. A course through Saturn's rings that will mask our signature and give us the cover we need for the first jump. John looked at his executive officer. Lisa, final thoughts. The council's orders are clear, Lisa replied. We run, we fight only when necessary, and we make them respect us enough to negotiate. We're not just fighting for Earth, we're showing the Empire what humans are made of. John nodded, feeling the weight of Earth's future on his shoulders. Tomorrow, they would leave everything behind, venturing into the stars, not as explorers but as rebels. Get some rest, he told his crew. Tomorrow we make history. That night, as John looked out his viewport at Earth one last time, he wondered if he would ever see it again. The Defiant might be just one ship, but sometimes one was all you needed to change everything. The Empire thought humans were weak, By the time this was over, they would know better. Morning came too quickly. John Miller stood on the bridge of the Defiant as his crew worked at their stations. No one spoke much. They all knew what was at stake. Atmospheric testing procedure is approved, Lisa reported. The Zarkonians didn't even question it. They think we're running diagnostics. Perfect, John nodded. Paul, start the descent pattern. Diane, keep monitoring their communications. The Defiant slowly dropped from its orbit, entering Earth's upper atmosphere. To any observer, it looked like a standard testing run. The ship's outer hull began to glow slightly as it pushed through the thickening air. We're entering the magnetic interference zone, Karen said, watching her instruments. Their sensors will have trouble tracking us clearly now. John took a deep breath. Sam, engage the pulse drive modifications on my mark. He paused, looking at the planet that had been humanity's only home for all of its history. 3, 2, 1. Mark. The ship vibrated slightly as Sam activated the experimental drive system. Energy flowed through the Defiant in a pattern designed to blend with Earth's natural magnetic field. It's working, Karen whispered, watching the readings. To their sensors, we just look like a strong magnetic eddy. Paul, execute course change. Take us out. Maximum speed. The Defiant suddenly changed direction, dropping lower in the atmosphere before shooting upward at a steep angle. Instead of continuing its testing pattern, it was now racing away from Earth, using the planet's magnetic field as cover. They've noticed, Diane reported, her fingers pressed to her earpiece. Admiral Vexor is laughing. He's dispatching 3 pursuit vessels. He called it amusing primitive desperation. John allowed himself a small smile. Good. Only 3 ships, just what we wanted. The Defiant burst from Earth's atmosphere into open space, accelerating hard toward the outer solar system. Behind them, 3 Imperial warships detached from the main fleet and followed. They're gaining, Eric reported from Tactical. Their straight-line speed is superior. Let them get closer, John ordered. Paul, plot our course through Saturn's rings exactly as we planned. For 6 hours, the Defiant raced through the solar system, with the Imperial ships following. John ordered occasional course corrections, but never enough to lose their pursuers. It was a careful dance, staying just far enough ahead while making the Empire believe they were straining to escape. Approaching Saturn, Paul announced. Ring entry in 3 minutes. All hands brace for turbulence. John ordered through the ship-wide comm. Sam, prepare for full power to shields and drive on my command. The massive ringed planet filled their view screen. The Imperial ships had closed to within firing range, but held their weapons. John knew why. They wanted to capture the Defiant intact, study its technology, perhaps parade the crew as examples of human futility. They're transmitting a surrender demand, Diane said. Ignore it, John replied. Paul, take us in. The Defiant plunged into Saturn's dense rings, ice and rock particles bouncing off its shields. The Imperial ships followed, their larger size making the passage more difficult. They're struggling with the debris, Karen reported. Their shield harmonics aren't optimized for this kind of environment. Perfect, John said. Eric, time to show them what we can do. Sam, full power to the modified drive. Sam's fingers flew across his controls. Ready, Captain. Now. The Defiant executed a maneuver that, by Imperial understanding of physics, should have been impossible. The modified drive activated, allowing the ship to use the gravitational shear point between 2 large ring fragments as a slingshot. The Defiant vanished from in front of the pursuing ships and reappeared behind them. Weapons locked, Eric reported. Fire, John ordered. Disable, don't destroy. The Defiant's weapons struck with surgical precision. 2 Imperial ships immediately lost power, drifting helplessly. The third managed to send a distress signal before a second volley left it floating dead in space. All enemy vessels disabled, Eric reported. Life support still functioning on all three. John nodded with satisfaction. Send them a message, Diane. Tell them their crews will survive if they remember this lesson. Humans choose mercy even when we don't have to. News of the Defiance escape spread quickly through the Imperial fleet. Admiral Vexor stood before a large screen showing Emperor Zarkon Vi himself. The Emperor's blue skin had darkened with anger. You lost 3 warships to a primitive vessel, the Emperor asked, his voice dangerously quiet. A temporary setback, Your Highness, Vexor replied, trying to hide his fear. The human ship used tactics we haven't seen before. It won't happen again. See that it doesn't, the Emperor said. Find that ship and bring me its captain. The Empire will not be made to look foolish by primitives. When the screen went dark, Vexor turned to his officers. Commit 30 warships to hunting down the human vessel. I want it found within 1 week. Back on Earth, Imperial representatives grew harsher in their demands. They now insisted that humanity surrender the rogue vessel before any terms could be discussed. Aboard the Defiant John gathered his crew for a meeting in the ship's mess hall. The mood was cautiously celebratory after their first victory. We got lucky, John said, tempering their enthusiasm. Next time they'll send more ships, and they won't underestimate us again. So what's our next move, Captain? Lisa asked. John displayed a star map showing nearby Imperial outposts. We stick to the mission. We need to be a thorn in their side. Strike fast, then disappear. Maria, how are our security protocols holding up? Security Chief Maria Johnson stood. I've implemented rotating shield and drive signatures. Standard Imperial tracking methods won't work on us anymore. Good, John nodded. Karen, what targets do you recommend? Karen studied the map. This supply depot near Proxima Centauri. It's lightly defended but strategically important. Hitting it would disrupt Imperial operations across 3 sectors. For the next 2 weeks, the Defiant struck at Imperial targets with surprising effectiveness. They disabled communication relays, raided supply depots, and even freed a transport ship carrying political prisoners from a world that had resisted Imperial rule. After each strike, Diane made sure to broadcast the same message. Humanity will not be conquered. We prefer peace, but we will fight if forced. The Imperial response grew increasingly frantic. Admiral Vexor doubled, and then tripled the number of ships searching for the Defiant. Look at these transmissions, Diane said during one quiet moment between missions. Stories about us are spreading throughout the Empire. On some worlds, people are calling us heroes. John frowned. We're not trying to start a rebellion. We just want the Empire to leave Earth alone. Maybe it's becoming more than that, Lisa suggested. Maybe we're becoming a symbol. As they prepared for their next mission, Karen detected an unusual energy signature. Captain, I'm picking up a distress signal. It's not Imperial. I've never seen this configuration before. Could be a trap, Eric warned from Tactical. Or someone who needs help, John replied. Let's check it out, but approach with caution. The Defiant altered course toward the signal source, a small vessel drifting near an asteroid field. As they drew closer, they detected life signs aboard. They're sending a message, Diane reported. Text only, in several languages. One of them is English. How is that possible? The message appeared on the main screen. To the human vessel that defies the Empire. We have watched you. We would speak with you. We are not alone in resisting tyranny. John exchanged looks with his crew. It seems we've made some friends, or it's the most elaborate trap yet. What should we do, Captain? Lisa asked. John studied the drifting ship. Something about this felt right. Maintain defensive posture, but open a channel. Let's hear what they have to say. As Diane established communications, John realized their mission had changed. They had set out to protect Earth, but now they might be part of something much bigger. The Empire had awakened something they never expected when they threatened Earth, not just human defiance, but a spark that could spread throughout the stars. The small alien ship hung in space before them, no weapons visible. John ordered the Defiant to maintain a safe distance while Diane established communications. Visual contact, Diane announced as a face appeared on the main screen. The alien had smooth greenish-gray skin and large, intelligent eyes. When it spoke, a translation system converted its clicks and whistles into English. "I am Rental of the Krell Confederation. Your actions against the Empire have not gone unnoticed." John stepped forward. "Captain John Miller of Earth, what exactly do you want with us?" "To meet those who have accomplished what many thought impossible," Rental replied. "The Empire has ruled through fear for generations, yet a single human ship makes them tremble." Lisa whispered to John, "Could be valuable allies, or they could leave the Empire right to us." John nodded slightly. "Why should we trust you, Rental?" The alien made a gesture that might have been a smile. "Because like you, we remember freedom. Follow us to our sanctuary if you wish to learn more, or continue your fight alone. The choice is yours." After discussing with his officers, John decided to follow the Krell ship. They traveled through 3 star systems, taking a complex route that Karen noted would confuse any Imperial trackers. They arrived at what appeared to be an abandoned mining facility orbiting a dead moon. As they docked, John selected a small team to join him: Lisa, Maria, and Sam. Inside the facility, they found not just Krell, but representatives from 5 different species. All had been conquered by the Empire, all lived under Imperial rule, and all maintained secret resistance networks. "For decades we have fought in shadows," Rental explained as they sat in a circular chamber. "Small acts of defiance, hidden communications, helping those the Empire would crush. But you, humans, you fight openly." "We had no choice," John replied. "The Empire came to take our world." An alien with 4 arms and metallic skin spoke up. "The Empire takes everyone's world. The difference is you fought back effectively." Rental nodded. "We have information that could help you. Safe routes, Imperial patrol schedules, supply depot locations. In exchange, we wish to learn how you have evaded their best ships." John considered the offer. "If we work together, what's the goal? We just want Earth left alone." "Freedom is our goal," said another alien, this one tall and willowy with glowing patterns on its skin. "Not just for one world, but for all worlds. The Empire is not as strong as it appears." Back aboard the Defiant, John's officers debated the proposal. "We can't start a galactic rebellion," Eric argued. "Our mission is to protect Earth." "But if the Empire falls, Earth is safer," Karen countered. Sam leaned forward excitedly. "Did you see their tech? It's compatible with ours, but uses principles we haven't discovered. Imagine what we could do with that knowledge." John listened to everyone before making his decision. "We share tactical information only, nothing that could compromise Earth if they betray us. In return, we gain allies and intelligence." Over the next 3 weeks, the Defiant worked with the Krell Confederation. Sam collaborated with their engineers to enhance the ship's systems. The modified engines now ran 30% more efficiently. The weapons targeting systems became even more precise. The Krell provided safe harbors where the Defiant could rest and make repairs. In return, John shared human tactical innovations that the Allies adapted to their own resistance efforts. During a quiet moment watching Sam work with Krell engineers, Lisa found John staring at star charts. "Something wrong, Captain?" she asked. "We left Earth to be a distraction," John said quietly. "Now we're part of something that could reshape the galaxy. Is that really our fight?" Lisa studied his troubled face. "Maybe it became our fight the moment the Empire decided Earth wasn't worth respecting." John nodded slowly. The Emperor has recalled Admiral Vexor. His replacement is Grand Admiral Tevnar, supposedly the Empire's greatest military mind. They're taking us seriously now, Lisa said. Yes, John agreed. Which means our next move needs to be something they'll never expect. Grand Admiral Tevnar was not like other Imperial officers. Where Admiral Vexor had relied on brute force and Imperial doctrine, Tevnar studied his enemies. He had requested all available information on humans and spent days reviewing the Defiance tactics. They adapt, he told his officers aboard his flagship, the Imperial Judgment *. While we follow procedures, they create new solutions. This is their strength. He pointed to a star map showing the Defiance known movements. They appear random, but there is a pattern. Humans think differently, but they still think. And thinking beings can be predicted. The Admiral's new strategy was already in motion. Instead of hunting the Defiant directly, he set a trap based on what he had learned about human psychology. Captain Miller and his crew would come to him. Aboard the Defiant John reviewed the latest intelligence from their Krell allies. 3 Imperial supply convoys will pass through this sector in the next week, he told his officers. Lightly defended, carrying materials for a new Imperial base. Seems like an easy target, Eric said, studying the tactical display. Too easy, Maria warned. This new admiral isn't stupid. He must know these convoys are vulnerable. John nodded in agreement. We need to be careful. Diane, any unusual communications from Imperial channels? Nothing obvious, Diane replied. But there's been a decrease in standard chatter. It's like they've gone quiet. After careful planning, John decided to target the second convoy. The Defiant would approach from the shadow of a small moon, disable the escort ships, and capture the supply vessels. The mission began smoothly. The Defiant moved into position and waited for the convoy to appear. Right on schedule, 3 large cargo ships with 2 escorts entered the sector. Weapons ready, Eric reported. Wait, Karen said suddenly, her eyes on her instruments. Captain, I'm detecting unusual energy readings behind the moon at coordinates 227 by 184. Before John could respond, a massive Imperial warship emerged from behind the moon, with 4 more ships appearing from hiding places in the asteroid field nearby. It's a trap, Lisa shouted. The Imperial Judgment fired, its weapons far more powerful than any they had faced before. The Defiant rocked violently as the first blast hit their shields. Evasive maneuvers, John ordered. Sam, give me everything you've got from the engines. The Defiant spun away, firing back at the Imperial ships while racing toward the edge of the system. 2 smaller ships pursued, launching a barrage of weapons. Shields down to 40%, Maria reported as another hit shook the ship. We can't outrun them, Paul said from navigation. Their lead ship is faster than anything we've seen before. John made a quick decision. The nebula. Head for the gas cloud at the edge of the system. The Defiant changed course, plunging into a dense cloud of gas and dust that limited visibility and sensor range. The Imperial ships followed, still firing. An explosion rocked the Defiant as a lucky shot struck their main drive. Drive system damage, Sam reported from engineering, his voice tight with worry. We're losing power. We can't maintain this speed. The Defiant limped deeper into the nebula, using the gas and dust as cover. But the Imperial ships kept coming, their advanced sensors cutting through the interference better than John had hoped. Another hit, and we're done, Eric warned. John looked at his crew, tired, some injured, but still fighting. They had accomplished so much, but it seemed their luck had finally run out. Then Eric said something unexpected. Captain, what if we stop running? What do you mean? John asked. The Krell said there's an Imperial command station in the Arcturus sector. It's their central operations hub for this entire quadrant. Lisa looked at Eric in shock. You want to attack their headquarters? We can barely keep flying. Not attack, Eric said, his eyes bright with an idea. Something they'll never expect from primitives who should be running scared. John watched as Eric outlined his plan. It was crazy, dangerous, and completely unexpected, which made it exactly what they needed. Set course for the Imperial command station, John ordered, and get me a direct channel to Grand Admiral Tevnar. It's time we introduced ourselves properly. The Imperial command station hung in space like a metal spider, surrounded by defensive satellites and patrol ships. It was the heart of Imperial operations in this sector, directing the hunt for the Defiant and managing the Empire's expansion plans. Inside the station, Grand Admiral Tevnar received an unexpected message. Admiral, the human ship is approaching. They're making no attempt to hide. Tevnar frowned. Weapons status. That's the strange part, sir. Their weapons are powered down. They're requesting direct communication with you. Curious, Tevnar ordered the message displayed. Captain John Miller's face appeared on the screen, his uniform torn and dirty, smoke visible in the background of his damaged ship. Grand Admiral Tevnar. I presume, John said calmly. I think it's time we talked face to face. Surrender your vessel, and we can talk all you wish, Tevnar replied. John shook his head. Not surrender. Negotiation. Between equals. Tevnar almost laughed. You are hardly in a position to negotiate, Captain. I'm exactly in that position, John replied. Your trap worked perfectly. You proved you can outthink us. Now let me prove something to you. Against the advice of his officers, Tevnar allowed the damaged Defiant to dock at the station. He was too intrigued by these humans who fought so cleverly against impossible odds. John, Lisa, Karen, and Maria were escorted to Tevnar's command center by armed guards. The Grand Admiral studied them with genuine curiosity. You could have continued running, he said. Why come here? To show you something important, John replied. He nodded to Karen, who placed a small device on the table. It projected images of Earth, its cities, oceans, and people. This is what we're fighting for, John said. Not conquest or power, just our home. Tevnar watched impassively. Many worlds have felt the same. All now serve the Empire. And how many resources does it cost to hold them? John asked. How many ships to suppress rebellions? How many soldiers lost? Lisa stepped forward with a data tablet. We've done the calculations. The Empire will spend more resources controlling Earth than they'll ever gain from us. And not just Earth. The same is true for many worlds in your Empire. Tevnar took the tablet, studying the figures. These numbers assume continued resistance, which you will have, Maria assured him. Humans never stop fighting for freedom. And we're not alone anymore. Karen added another device to the table, displaying records of the Defiance encounters with other resistance groups. The Krell, the Vakar, the Nyx Collective, all waiting for a chance to break free. For hours, they talked. John explained how the Empire's policy of subjugation created enemies, while partnerships could bring mutual benefits. He outlined a different approach. Earth would join the Empire not as a conquered world, but as an autonomous ally. Your Emperor fears chaos if worlds are given freedom, John said. But what if there's a middle path? Security without tyranny, trade without theft, strength through willing cooperation rather than forced compliance. Tevnar was silent for a long time. Finally, he spoke. In 500 years of imperial expansion, no one has ever proposed such an arrangement. Perhaps no one was ever given the chance, John replied. Meanwhile, aboard the Defiant Sam and Eric had completed their part of the plan. If negotiations failed, they were ready to trigger a modified drive overload that would destroy not just the ship, but a significant portion of the command station. But it didn't come to that. After 3 days of discussions, Grand Admiral Tevnar made an unprecedented decision. He would bring John's proposal directly to Emperor Zarkon VI. "I cannot promise the Emperor will agree," Tevnar told John. "But your actions have earned my respect, and the Empire might benefit more from human innovation than human submission." 1 month later, the Defiant returned to Earth. It bore battle scars and modifications from alien technology, but more importantly, it carried a new imperial decree. Earth would not be conquered. Instead, it would become the first autonomous partner world in a reformed imperial structure. As John looked down at the blue-green planet he had fought so hard to protect, he thought about how it all began, with the Empire's mistake of underestimating humanity. That single error had changed the course of galactic history. "Ready to go home?" Lissa asked, standing beside him. John nodded. "For now. But something tells me we'll be heading back to the stars soon. We had a lot to teach the Empire about respect."